Hey, Sean, how are you doing today?
Good, Kenny. I see you are out in the desert somewhere. Geez, since the last time we did a podcast like this, you've been pretty much boondocking the whole time, haven't you?
Just about, yeah. Maybe a handful of days that we were plugged in, but for the most part, yeah, we've been doing five. I've been in this spot now for 6 days straight. That's probably our longest, or 7 days, maybe even 7 days now, which is like completely foreign to us. We're usually from one campground to the next. So surprisingly, we have been enjoying it more than our campground stays. I don't know if you would agree with me on this or not. So out on the West Coast, Sabrina, I feel like the boondocking experience is it's easier to find places, it's very nice, it's comfortable. The campgrounds on the West Coast we have found have been like packing us in and making it the spots very tight. But on the East Coast, we feel like they give us more space at the campgrounds, but it's difficult to find the boondocking spots.
Yeah, I think you're right about that because we spent most of our time RVing on the East Coast somewhere or the Southeast, really. And you're right, there's not a lot of boondocking space out there. It's mostly people, houses, and things like that. So there's not a lot of open space. And the campgrounds seem to be a little more spacious, concrete instead of dirt, things like
Yeah.
that too. So yeah, I guess it's a way of life you have to change when you go from east to west. I know
Yeah,
you were a little intimidated by it at first when before you started doing it. What are your thoughts on the boondocking now?
definitely intimidated by it. So we were afraid that we'd run out of power, we'd run out of water, that we wouldn't have the comfort that we're accustomed to by being in a campground. But I have to say that both of us have been really enjoying it, and we're actually more comfortable here. And a lot of it has to do with Belle. Belle's very overreactive to people walking past our RV and noise and things like that. And being out here, I know the listeners can't see, but we're in Nevada right now, and there's like a big canyon in front of us. So nobody could even walk in front of our RV to rile her up. So that has made us more comfortable. We have obviously, our Battleborn batteries in here, so power isn't an issue at all. We were at Quartzsite actually, and we charged our batteries on a Saturday and didn't need to recharge them again until Wednesday. so
Wow.
so power hasn't been an issue. So now really our kryptonite is certainly the water, and we're getting better with water. Just trying to do the Navy showers and conserve as much as we can. The water has not crippled the experience. Crippled probably not the correct word for it, but what's the word I'm looking for, Sean? You're smarter than I am.
I don't know about that. Maybe hindered. It hasn't
Hindered.
hindered your,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Hindered. The fact that we have to think about water every once in a while has not hindered this at all. We got, tons of space. Belle can go off leash and run around freely. It's quiet. It's super quiet. We finally, it took 2 years, but we finally see the appeal of boondocking and dry camping.
And I know you've been traveling a lot with the roaming remodelers,
Yeah, they're
John and
fun.
Nadia. Have they been able to pass on along a lot of advice to you guys on boondocking? Have you kind of learned from them, or has it really just been you guys have been learning on your own?
Yes and no. They are helping us out big time when it comes to how to find spots, how to know that the location that you have chosen is safe and okay to be at. They have also made us aware that I didn't know this, that there are such a thing as like burn restrictions, and just because you're on BLM land doesn't always mean that you can start a campfire. You have to go online and you look up and make sure that it's safe to do so in the area that you're in. Otherwise, Sabrina, I would have just been burning a fire everywhere that we went. We didn't know, that
Yeah.
such a thing existed. So they've been helping us greatly that way. They kind of spoil us in a sense because a lot of times we just kind of like follow them around. But I got to this spot before they did. And the first time you do anything, you're always a little leery. So I found this spot. Well, I found it with their help. They sent me the coordinates, but even when you get here, so there were like two sides to the road, and everybody was parked on one side of the road, and nobody was parked on the other side of the road. And I was like, I'm not just check out that other side of the road, and I scouted it out. I drove in with the RV and got out and walked around a little bit. I was like, this side of the road looks a lot better than the other side. But why, if nobody's over here, maybe there's a reason for it. And I actually texted them and said, hey, this is where I am. Is this okay? And they said, I'm sure you're fine. We'll double check when you get there. And yeah, when they got here, they're like, yeah, this is all part of the BLM land. And man, you can't beat free. I mean, it's
Yeah, no,
awesome.
free is awesome.
Yeah. And that's not, I guess that's not always the case. Some areas do charge you, you know, $20, but it's usually, you know, for like 2 weeks. But this area here is completely free. There's no fee at all. It's awesome. Nobody regulates it. Nobody has been coming by to say, hey, you know, you're on day 7 of 14, or I don't even know if there is. Actually, now I got to ask John and Nadia. I don't even think there is a 14-day limit on the ground that we're at now. John and Nadia were here 2 years ago in this spot, and up the road, there's a travel trailer, and they recognize it from 2 years ago. So we're pretty sure there's no limit on how long you can be for.
So you just replaced your existing batteries with the Battleborn batteries. I think a lot of people think that when they're going to go out boondocking, they need this big fancy setup for power, but you replaced your batteries with 2 Battleborns, and then you just recently have 2 100-watt solar panels, and you think that's working fine for you, right?
Yeah, it's more than enough. John and Nadia and I were joking that I've been trading them power for coffee in the morning. Actually ran an extension cord off our motorhome into their RV so that they could charge some of their laptops. They don't have an inverter in their RV. So
Okay.
they've been stealing my power, but with the two, so I did what I would call as simple as can be. I mean, I did everything myself. I just swapped out our lead acid batteries for the 2 Battleborn batteries. That was a simple swap. And I got the 2 100-watt panels off Amazon, and they came with a solar controller that I installed myself. And the 2 panels, I'm leaving them like freestanding so that I can like move them around the RV. And my thought of it is, because I was thinking about putting them up on the roof, but I was like, well, what if there was ever a time that I wanted to park in the shade? Then I would be shading my panels also. So I was like,
Yeah.
maybe I'll just leave these separate. And I turned the 2 100-watt panels into a like a suitcase style. I got some hardware from Home Depot. A friend of mine actually showed me that Matt from Nomadic Native, and made a suitcase out of these panels, and it's been amazing. It's such a weird thing, Sean, to go from always, you know, the Battleborn batteries last forever. Like, you know, before we had the power, we would go 3-4 days, but we never had anything on board the RV other than our generator to make power. So now when I like wake up in the morning and the sun is up, it's just a strange feeling to be actually increasing power throughout the day instead of losing
Losing
power
it.
throughout the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is odd. And honestly, we could have done it without the solar too, but we were at Quartzsite. We were kind of close knit in Quartzsite because we made like a little small neighborhood there with about 6 other RVs. We got there on Saturday on a full charge, and by Wednesday we had to recharge our batteries. And we actually felt bad that we had to start up our generator. We're like, oh, you know, we're close to our friends,
Yeah.
and nobody really cares. I'm sure it was just us, but we were like, oh, if we had solar, I bet you we would never have to run the generator again. So then, with their help, we did some calculations of how much power we were using per day and how many panels we would need to keep our batteries topped off, and it just worked out that 200 is actually almost overkill for us. Like I said, we're running power to John and Nadia next to us, so
That's pretty
um,
nice.
it's nice. Yeah, it's been, but I guess, you know, 200 panels to anybody else. Does 200 watts of panel sound overkill to you?
No, no,
Not at all, right?
no. We use a lot of electricity though, so I
Yeah.
guess you guys are better, more minimalist than many people.
Well, I think it's our RV. So we don't have a residential refrigerator. We have a 1,000-watt inverter that powers a few outlets. I just don't feel like we our coach is a very power hungry RV, I guess. So on for you guys, what's the most hungry piece of machinery that you have in your RV? Is it the refrigerator?
Yeah, I think it's the residential refrigerator that uses a lot. When it's just regular running throughout the day, it's constantly pulling probably between 8 and 9 amps. But then when the compressor kicks on and it goes through its cycles, it's like 20 amps.
Oh yeah,
And
that's a lot.
it does that a couple times a day. And then Julie likes to cook with the Instant Pot. And while that's pressurizing, that's like an insane amount, like
Is it?
probably 70 or 80 amps that it uses. I can't really tell her no, she can't use it because I already took the microwave away from her. So I'll give her the Instant Pot for a little while.
Yeah, I forgot about the microwave. So our inverter's too small to run our microwave. So to run the microwave, we would have to start the generator, which we haven't been doing. We've actually been taking our microwave meals out of the packaging and then cooking them on the stovetop.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, I mean, we're probably not bothering anybody by running the generator, but we're just like, man, let's see how long we can go without firing this thing up.
Yeah. What about your propane?
How long do we last on the propane?
Yeah.
We'll find out. I mean, over 7 days.
So you haven't refilled it since you've been parked where you're at?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's really good.
Yeah. I mean, it helps that we're, in Nevada, although tomorrow's supposed to get down into 28 degrees. I'll be running the furnace, but, it really just depends. I think we've had mild weather where I'm not running the furnace all day. I'm just running it overnight because Sabrina likes it to be about 75 degrees in the RV for some reason.
Yeah. So speaking of Quartzsite, I know you stayed there like the whole week of the big RV show. Julie and I only came in for one day, and it was kind of stressful for us to see all those people and how everybody was packed into the areas. It was kind of not the typical boondocking experience, I think. So, we really were glad we didn't bring our RV down there and just drove in. How did you feel about it?
I think the fact that we were there for a week, it was fine that we had the RV, but I agree with you. I wouldn't want to bring it in there for just a single day or even 2 days or something like that. If we didn't have our friends there, I'm pretty sure Sabrina and I would have probably pulled up and left. Like if we weren't there to meet our friends and hang out and just have a good time, I think we would have pulled up and be like, nope, this is not for us, because it was overwhelming. Geez, I'm not going to get the numbers wrong, but I want to say that the town has a population of 5,000 to 8,000 people. But during the event, it's over 500,000 people for the week.
Wow.
And the town's not set up for it. So like when we left in the morning to go check out the Big Tent event, we were 3 miles from the Big Tent. It was a 20-minute drive to go 3 miles, and we couldn't find parking. And
there was like 20 when we showed up to your place. There was like probably 20 RVs waiting for the dump station.
Yeah.
So that's like an all-day experience right there.
Yep. And Sabrina and I, again, we did great. That week that we were there, we never moved the RV. We didn't dump our tanks or have to refill on water. When we were there for about 7 days, we just left. We didn't even bother going to that dump station because it was like, if you got in that line, you were in there for a long time. You were probably better off like putting on some night goggles and going in the middle of the night to dump your tanks. It would save you 4 to 6 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think I saw anybody doing that, but maybe for next year, I just gave somebody a tip.
And I know you bought like a Blue Boy or a Thetford waste disposal wagon.
Yeah.
Have you had to use it yet?
We haven't. Nope, we haven't used it. We bought the Rhino. It's like a 21-gallon external holding tank, and I was like, I thought we'd definitely use, and we haven't used it yet. But if I didn't buy it, I know we would have needed it.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have it. It hangs on the back of our ladder. I want to use it. I want to see if it works as well as it looked like it did in the video. we just haven't needed to yet, but we will. I'm sure there's going to be a time. I mean, we can't go forever without emptying the tank. So we'll eventually get there. And that was great that you guys came up to Quartzsite or down to Quartzsite or wherever you came from.
Yeah.
Because it was awesome seeing you guys. We don't see you enough. I always see you on video, though. And when I did see you, it didn't feel like it was as long as it actually was to see you in person, because it's been over a year, right?
Almost a year.
Almost
February.
A year.
Yeah.
But I get to, video chat with you every time we do a podcast. So it didn't really feel that long. Oh, I saw you actually not that long ago, Sean. I'm lying.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we did see each other
somewhere
here in Tucson looking at RVs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, now I see you too often.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's funny that, we talk all the time, but it's all virtual.
Yeah.
We're working on this podcast, doing all the planning, doing all the recording, maintaining the website. Everything we do is done virtually. It seems like we should see each other a lot more than we do.
Yeah, you would think, but it works. I don't know. I think it works out really well.
Yeah.
I think we live in pretty amazing times that we're able to
Yeah.
do something like this and
Yeah. And
have
then
these
getting to
opportunities.
spend time at the Battleborn booth down there was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was awesome. That event or that day that we got to meet and greet people and share our experience, I think that was definitely the highlight. Sorry, Sean, I wasn't seeing you. That was the highlight of my week. I had so much fun meeting people and talking with people on a one-on-one level. I think from talking to those people is why I bought solar. Like being there and talking to the customers and finding out what type of setup they had in their RVs and why they enjoy the boondocking and getting out. And I was like, oh yeah, you know what, Sabrina and I should be doing this more often. Everybody was a bad influence, and we wound up purchasing some solar panels while we were there.
Yeah, it was funny the amount of people that were at that booth. I mean, we talked all day. I don't even think we took a lunch break or anything. We were talking all day.
Yeah,
But it went by quick,
I
and
did go by
and
fast.
I actually found that I learned, you learn stuff
Mhm.
by talking to people. And so yeah, I had a great time.
It did go by fast. I think we were there from 11 to 5. So we did,
Yeah.
you and I did 6 hours. I think Sabrina did about 4 hours, which is a lot
Yeah.
for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Julie did the full 6 hours with us, didn't she?
Well, she went out and shopped a little bit,
Oh,
but
yeah.
yeah.
She snuck off.
Yeah, she snuck off for an hour or so. She probably did about the same amount of time as Sabrina, I think.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoy meeting people and hearing other people's experiences and stories. So if we could do that more often, Sean, that's something I think we should look into because I think we both enjoyed it so much.
Yeah. And I think, we have this opportunity coming up in November. Maybe we can start working on something and put something together where we can meet some people since we're both going to be enjoying Florida.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
I
that's
don't,
a good idea.
it, yeah, I don't know if maybe we should think about doing something there for a couple hours.
Oh yeah, I think that would be a great spot.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, we'll make that happen. So
But it
you
was
did,
also good to just get to know Sean and Dennis and Diane and Jody a little better
yeah.
from Battleborn. After it slowed down a little bit, we were able to talk to them a little bit, and they're just so nice.
Yeah, they were super. All of them were. And it is nice because I've had a bunch of emails back and forth. I've talked to them on the phone a couple of times, but there's nothing like meeting somebody face to face and really getting
Yeah,
to know them that way. I did enjoy talking with them. And like you said, they are super nice. They're
yeah,
awesome. Hopefully they would like for us to come and meet them somewhere else and do that again. I really, really liked it.
yeah. And
It's
then
a,
we also got to meet Clayton from Hutch Mountain.
Oh yeah, he was super nice too.
Yeah,
That,
yeah, it
that's
was.
that's just the RV community, I think. Clayton seemed excited to see us.
Yeah, exactly.
So I thought that was really cool.
He seemed like a really good guy and really doing good things for the RV community, with the generator. So
Yeah, that was pretty cool. When he fired, I see it's been a long time, I guess, since I've listened to a generator, and I'm just basing it off of like my experience that I had in construction probably 10, 15 years ago, where when we had those generators and we would fire them up, they were loud. I mean, and they were probably smaller than that generator that he had as far
yeah,
as wattage, the
yeah,
ability of what they were able to put out. So when he fired up that 2200-watt generator, I was expecting it to do more. I was like, is that it? I actually said
yeah,
so. I was like, is that all it's going to do? And he's like, well, it'll rev up once so he was giving that demonstration of the AC unit with the easy start. And
yeah.
he's like, it's going to rev up a little bit, but yeah. So then when he, when he did the demonstration, I was like, I can't believe this is as loud as everything's getting. It was so quiet.
Yeah, and even the air conditioner was quiet.
Yeah, everything. It sounded really good. Yeah, he actually had to show us on a meter that the compressor had kicked on because we couldn't I couldn't
Right.
hear it anyway. I didn't
Yeah.
know. That
Yeah.
Easy Start's amazing.
So it'll be exciting to get him on the podcast so we can share all of his stuff and this company he developed,
Yeah.
around the RV lifestyle, really. So
And then, yeah, he's taking that generator and converting it from running off of gasoline to that propane system. That was really cool too. And just there was no smoke or exhaust coming off of that thing. It was just clean, like clean burning. And that was pretty impressed with it too.
yeah.
And it seemed like a fairly easy conversion kit, didn't it?
Yeah.
It didn't
He
seem
said it
as
takes like
crazy as I thought it would be.
he said it takes like 45 minutes to
Yeah.
install it all. So yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
And then
And
the
then,
highlight, besides the Battleborn stuff and meeting Clayton, the topping off of our day there at the big tent was the ice cream. So
yeah, yep.
yeah, yeah, that
Sean,
was
unfortunately, that ice cream was a little too good, and I had ice. I grabbed ice cream from that spot 4 days. Oh,
wow.
4 out of the 6 days that we were there, I had ice cream. I shouldn't be eating that much ice cream, but it was so good. And they had like 30 different flavors or 25 different flavors. I was like, oh, I want to try them all. I tried 4 of them, though. That's not bad.
No, that's not bad.
That was an interesting event. I have to say. Was that your first time being at Quartzsite then in the Big
Yeah,
Tent?
that was our
That was your
first
first time
time.
seeing it too. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that. Everybody told me about the crowds, but I don't know if you saw it on the height of when the crowds. Sabrina and I went in there one day, the first day that we got there, and we left within 30 minutes because it was difficult to walk around even just to be able to see things. It did get a little better, I guess, as the week went on, but I just wasn't prepared for it.
Yeah, there were definitely a lot of people there.
And I would say that most of them were hanging out at the Battleborn battery booth.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
And that really surprised me too. That you and I had a very good, I think anyway, that's being as modest as I can be. That we had a really good turnout. I think a lot of people came out to see us.
Yeah, I think so too. I was
I was pleasantly surprised. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they seemed happy to see us.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody cussed us out or gave us the
Nobody,
finger or
yeah,
anything.
yeah, nobody threw tomatoes or
Yeah.
we took photos. Took photos with some people and got to meet them and hear their. I thought that was amazing that people actually came out to see us and say hi.
Yeah.
I thought that was awesome.
I do think if Belle was there, we would have had a better turnout, but
Yeah, everybody likes the little one.
yeah. Yeah.
She doesn't like everyone though.
So what did you end up buying anything at the big tent the week you were there?
We did buy 2 solar panels and that solar controller, but on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
We got inspired while being there, but didn't actually purchase from there. I don't even know why that is. I know somebody there was selling solar, I'm sure. Oh, you know what? I think we did go over to somebody that was selling solar panels, and they didn't have the panels that we were looking for. They didn't have like two
Okay.
100-watt panels.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would have probably bought from somebody in person, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think we bought anything. I know that Julie bought something and then left it there.
Yeah. Julie bought some sheets and then she left it.
And you guys have been doing a lot of seminars where you go and speak at these shows. Every time I talk to you, it sounds like you are including more.
Yeah, it's
onto your
amazing.
schedule.
Yeah, it's amazing that once we got started, it seemed to build up pretty quickly. We'd been trying for about a year to get into the RV show circuit to do some seminars because we both like talking and we really like talking about RV stuff. And so we had been trying for about a year. I emailed several people, and then finally we got hooked up with Good Sam Events, and they do shows all around the country. We signed on for a couple, and now I think we're up to doing 6 with them this year. And then we have 2 other ones outside of Good Sam Events that we're going to do. And I really like, well, I should say Julie and I really like doing it because it's a completely different crowd than who we normally see. We're normally around other full-time RVers to meet people that are doing it just for part-time or recreation. I think the bigger market is just recreational RVers, not full-time RVers. And to talk to them and see and get their experience and share our experience with them it's just kind of different. It's kind of refreshing to get to talk to that crowd of people.
And do you run into a lot of people that are not even in it yet? Like, do you talk to a lot of people that are thinking about starting RVing or?
Yeah, quite a few people are just there to look at, their first RV. So they always have a lot of questions about all aspects of it. And it's just fun to share our experience with them and help educate them and kind of lead them the right way. One thing I regret, I think, before we started RVing was we always went to RV shows, but we never sat in on the seminars. And you can get so much information
Yeah, they're
from
good.
those seminars.
Sabrina and I sat down at a couple, and you're right. There is a lot of good information at these shows. It's not just walking through the different models and things like that.
Yeah, and they kind of know, the promoters of the show kind of know what people are looking for
Hmm.
in the seminars. So they kind of dictate what we talk about, but then we have the freedom to construct the presentation how we want to. So that makes it more personalized, but still giving them the information that they want. But there's some long days. I mean, the shows are typically 4 days, and we'll do like 3 or 4 seminars, but then always in between the seminars, people just want to ask questions and talk about different things and ask about our experience. So by the end of the days, I've used all my words. So there's no
I
more
like
speaking when we leave the building.
I like that. I used all my words. So when you say that you did that you had 6 events lined up with Good Sam,
Yeah, good same events. Yeah.
an event is 4 days. So you're speaking for 4 days per event.
Yeah, it's
That's
three
all.
or 4 days. Most are 4 days, some are only 3 days, but yeah.
And then how many seminars are you doing a day? Are you doing one seminar per day? So
No,
four.
we do 3 or 4 a day.
That's a
Yeah,
lot. That
it's a
is a
lot.
whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a whole lot.
If I was doing it by myself, I don't think I could do it. I mean, I think I literally would not be able to talk anymore. But
Yeah.
with the two of us, it makes it a lot easier. In our careers before full-time RVing, we did a lot of teaching. We enjoy it. We're not nervous getting up in front of people and stuff. So
That's good.
it's really a lot of fun for us. Yeah.
So which part do you like better? When you're up there talking to the people or the questions afterwards? Do you guys do questions afterwards?
Yeah, we do questions afterwards, and we always say ask questions during too, because,
Mm, okay.
so you don't forget your question. Just go ahead and ask it, and it doesn't throw us off track, really. I like the whole experience. Like I said, I just like talking to a different crowd of people than what we're normally used to talking to. So, and you see a lot of people are super excited about
Yeah.
getting an RV or getting their first RV.
Yep.
It's like Christmas for them
Yeah.
almost.
There is a very high, like Christmas. That's a great way to put it. There is a very high level of excitement. I remember when Sabrina and I did tons of shopping and everything, and we bought the RV, and we weren't ready to move into it. It was staying in storage. We were in an apartment, so we couldn't even have it at our house. And we would go on weekends when we were off from work and go to storage and eat lunch in our dinette
Oh, that's cool.
because we were just so excited to be in it.
Yeah.
We weren't going anywhere. We didn't take it. We sat in storage and ate lunch at the time. That's how ridiculous we are.
And the funny thing is, like, we thought our least popular presentation, it's called long-term RV travel.
Hmm.
We thought that would not be popular at all. It's the most popular one. Like, people are really curious about it. It's surprising how many people actually are considering full-time RVing.
Now, do you get a lot of shy people at the show that maybe won't ask a question, ask a question in public, but then try to grab a hold of you guys afterwards?
Oh
Or
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's usually, like I said, we usually will do a presentation, then have an hour or 2 hours until our next
Oh.
one. And
Oh,
all of
okay.
our time is usually taken up
Oh, okay.
with people asking questions.
Okay.
So yeah, that's actually quite popular.
Yeah. Because I know nobody ever believes it when I say it, but I'm shy, and I would be one of those people that would try to grab hold of you guys, like as you're coming off stage, be like, "Hey, Sean, I heard you mentioned this, but and have a question for you." So that's cool that you guys do that, though. That you're available after the show to take even more questions for people that are a little more reserved.
Yeah, one night we stayed, I think we were in Columbus, Ohio, and we stayed until the place closed down.
Oh, wow.
people asking questions, and we had been done. There was still 2 hours to closing, and when our last presentation was over, and we stayed past closing to answer everybody's
That's awesome.
questions. We like to do it, so it's more like fun than work, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are good people, so that's
Oh,
awesome.
thanks.
So
Yeah.
where's your next event?
Our next event is the beginning of March in Peoria, Illinois.
That
So
sounds cold. Is that
it
cold in
sounds
March?
very cold. Yeah.
Why are you going? Come on, Sean.
Since we were new to the shows, I think we didn't get the primo locations.
You're not down at the did you do the Tampa RV show? That's where you want a Tampa RV show
Yeah, I
in
wish we could have got into that one.
wintertime. That's the
Yeah.
location.
The week of the Tampa RV show, we were in Kansas City, so it
Was
was
that cold
cold there.
too, right?
Oh yeah, single digits. Yeah.
That's funny. For two people that could be anywhere at any time.
But I think after Peoria, then it gets a little better. We do, well, no, Colorado Springs. It's probably
What
going to be
time?
cold there in March.
Oh yeah, that'll be
And
cool.
then we do El Paso, which will be warm.
Oh yeah, that's good.
And then Phoenix or Scottsdale, which will also be warm.
Yeah,
So,
that's good. Yeah.
yeah,
All right. So you balanced it out a little bit. It's
yeah,
not just all,
yeah,
freezing temperatures.
yeah.
And then I guess, but these events are inside, aren't they? Like the ones that are in these cold climates.
Yeah, they're usually in a convention center or something like that.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I'm picturing like at the Hershey RV show, like all the display models and products and stuff like that's outdoors. But I feel like all the seminars are
Yeah.
mostly inside.
Yeah, I don't think that, that Hershey show and the Tampa show are so humongous that I don't think they could have it all indoor with
Oh,
all the
there's no
RVs that are
way.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way. I've never been to the Tampa one, but the Hershey, PA one is I mean, it is ridiculous. It is enormous. Thousands of RVs. Have you been to the Tampa RV one?
Yeah, twice. We've been
Oh,
there
okay.
twice. Yeah, it's just about the same size as the Hershey show.
Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
insane then.
They may have a few more vendors at the Tampa show because I think it's winter time in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
So people want to go. But as far as the number of RVs there, I think it's right. They're right equal with each other. So yeah, there's no way you can have an indoor event that size. That's just huge.
Too much.
Yeah.
So when you're doing your seminars, do you have time to actually enjoy the show? Do you go out? It doesn't sound like you really have a whole lot of free time, I guess.
No, we usually try and go a little early and walk around the vendors because if we're talking about something during one of our seminars, we can say like for instance, when we were in Kansas City, the Missouri State Park Rangers were there. They had a booth there. So we went and talked with them for a little while and found out that all Missouri state parks are free to enter. So then if you're camping, you just have to pay to camp. But
Oh,
to actually go into the state park, it's free. So that was good information that we could provide when we were talking about campground options
yeah.
and things to do while you're out RVing. If you're in Missouri, you can go to the parks for free.
Yeah, I think that's unusual,
Yeah, that is
right? That
very
that's very
unusual.
unusual. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really good.
So we try and talk to the vendors so we can just get more information for our seminars that's local to the people.
For you
But
guys.
otherwise, we don't get to go into too many RVs or anything. It's really busy when we're there.
Which is a shame because the shows are really fun in the fact that you get to always see like the newest, I guess, cutting edge or just, whatever's about to come out. That's really
Yeah.
good. I always like to see, I'm just a big kid, I guess. I love seeing the new products.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish we had more time because there's stuff that I want to see for sure, but we just don't have time to do it.
We'll have to go to a show sometime together when you're not working.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot of fun. We got to make
Well,
that
I would
happen.
really love to go to that RVX or whatever that is. I've been seeing a bunch of ads for that
Oh
thing in
yeah,
Salt
that's
Lake
in
City.
Tall, I think.
But I guess it's more for dealers and stuff.
I think it is a dealer event only.
Yeah.
I am trying to weasel my way in there.
Because it
I
looks like you see really the cutting edge of the
Yeah,
newest stuff
yeah.
that's coming out. Yeah.
It's similar to like the RV open house that they had in Indiana in September. Like I said, I just love seeing everything new coming out. So I am maybe weasel is not the right word for it, but that's the only thing that's coming to mind right now. But I'm trying to get myself invited to that RVX show.
Yeah. if you do get in and you could
Smuggle you in.
smuggle me in, I
Okay.
would.
I got a big coat. I'll
Yeah,
put my big coat on.
it it seems like you get to see the neatest, the coolest stuff that's coming out there
Yeah.
from what I've been seeing online. I just
Yeah.
saw a thing in the news maybe 2 days ago that by 2024 they expect the RV industry to quadruple. But surprisingly, it's not, the biggest market isn't in the United States.
Is it Australia?
No, it's Asia.
Really? Hmm.
Yeah, so I was kind of surprised by that.
Yeah.
They're expecting that to be the biggest growth market between now and 2024.
Is it based on what their work? Maybe it's not a very large market at all, though, right now. So, I mean, any growth would be like exponential, or do
But
you?
as far as growth in dollars, it was
Oh,
based on
oh, oh, oh. Ah,
economic growth. So it could
I
be a
would have
cool
not.
RV place. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed it. I don't think
I
of it.
thought the same thing as you, Australia. When I
Yeah,
read the line, it said it wasn't North America. I was like, oh, it must be Australia.
yeah, and I don't even know why Australia comes to mind, but that's the first. Yeah, that was what popped in my head right away. So, gosh darn it, Sean, we're both wrong. We know
Yeah,
nothing.
we know nothing. We know nothing. So our next podcast is going to be really good. Wholesale warranties. I'm kind of looking forward to that one. I think a lot of people are going to like it.
This is how little I know, Sean. Hasn't the wholesale warranties episode already aired by this time, or no?
No,
No.
ours is next, and
Ours
then
is-
wholesale.
well, then the people are in for a treat because we recorded it this morning, so that's what's messing me up. But it was really good. It was an excellent interview, and not that we asked tough questions, but everything that we asked them, they were so on point with their answers and easy to understand. And I said to you, I stumble when asking a question. I don't know how they had these answers so well laid out and
And it was educational.
oh yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
the good thing about this podcast. Like you always say, I mean, we just learn so much.
It's my favorite part about doing a podcast so far has been just I feel like I'm keeping up to date with everything that's going on in the RV industry because the show covers, not just products, but it's covering services and people and stuff like that. I feel like my fingers on the pulse of the RV industry, I guess. I don't know. I enjoy learning about it all. It's fun.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun.
I always enjoyed listening to podcasts, and I always thought in the back of my mind that I would love to do a podcast at some time, but I always said to myself, it seems like it would be too much for me to do. And then when you came to me and said, "Hey, I'm thinking about putting together a podcast. I'd like you to co-host it with me. What do you think?" I was like, "This is perfect," because I would never have gotten it together. I would have never been able to figure out. I still don't know. I mean, I've never even really asked you, like, because we're on iTunes and Stitcher and Google Play. I would have never figured out how after the recording and the editing process goes, like how to get it out to all those different markets and
Yeah.
the software being used. So yeah, this is awesome.
I'm going to keep it a secret because it's really easy, and then you might go off and do it yourself.
It doesn't seem like it would be easy though. It doesn't, it seems mystical in a sense that it goes to all these different platforms. I don't know. I think it's really cool. Now I'm not going anywhere, Sean. You're stuck with me.
So you're in Nevada now.
Hmm?
Where are you going to stay out west for a while? Or are you heading back east, or what's the plan?
That's a question for Sabrina. I don't make.
Uh,
I have no control over where we go and where. I know we're headed back east. So in March we're going to the RVE Summit in Alabama. I know we have to be there for
oh,
that.
that's coming up. Yeah, that's coming up.
Yeah, I mean we're in February now, so I guess
Yeah.
it's late March. But I don't know how much longer we'll be out west for. We're going to start headed east pretty soon. I would say within the next week or so we'll be starting to move towards the East Coast.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And then
And
do you have plans of coming back here, coming back out west, I should
yeah,
say?
but yeah, no, definitely we want to come back. So we have not been in the northwest side of the country with the RV yet. We want to see Utah. We want to see Oregon. I got to look at a map, but we want to like hit all those areas that people say that are, stunning. So yeah,
Yeah.
we're definitely coming back. But
And
have you guys been everywhere? You've been doing this for 4 years.
no, we haven't been hardly anywhere. This is our first time out west.
Oh,
We stayed out east a lot because all of our family's out there. So we were
yeah.
mainly just cruising between them. And then we were both working for companies the first couple of years that were based out of the east. So,
Oh, okay.
it's tough to work on East Coast time when you're out west, especially
Yeah.
for me because I like to sleep in. So it's we never made it out west. So now we're out here, and we were originally planning to go up to the northwest this summer, but Julie decided it was probably too cold up there for her after it's been kind of a crazy winter here. It hasn't really been that warm, even in Arizona. So, I mean, we even got snow this year.
People always think it's not that easy to follow, as easy as it sounds, just to chase that 70-degree temperatures. Cause you really never know what this weather pattern is going to do. I mean, it changes so quickly. We're here in Nevada. And it's going down to 28 degrees tomorrow. It's
Yeah.
like,
See, it's like,
who would have thought? Well, I guess we've got everybody's ear for long enough today.
yeah.
We're going to let you guys get back to whatever you were doing before. And we, of course, appreciate you stopping in and listening to us. And we hope that Sean and I get to do more of these meet and greets and get to meet every one of you in person. I think that'd be pretty fantastic.
Yeah. And if you like the podcast, please go ahead and like it on whatever platform you're listening to. That really helps us out and helps boost our egos. So if you like the podcast, go ahead and hit the like button on whatever platform you're listening to us on. And we'll talk to y'all later.
See you, everybody.